This one is for the person who has stopped expecting miracles, not because they stopped believing in them, but because they stopped believing they were the kind of person miracles happen to. You know the feeling. You hear someone's story, the unexpected phone call, the breakthrough that came from nowhere, the door that opened the week they were about to give up. And something in you says, that happens for other people. Not out loud, just quietly, underneath everything. A low hum of exemption, as if miraculous outcomes are distributed to a specific type of person and you have somehow been filed in a different category. Here is what that belief is doing. It is not protecting you from disappointment. It is blocking the very outcomes it claims to be too sensible to expect. Because miracles, the unexpected turns, the perfectly timed interventions, the things that should not have worked but did, do not fall randomly. They fall toward people whose frequency is open to receiving them. People who have not closed the door on extraordinary outcomes. People who have decided, deliberately without embarrassment, that miraculous things are part of their normal. That is the decision this session is asking you to make. Sit tall, breathe slowly, and speak today as the person who has reopened the door, who has decided firmly and without apology that they are exactly the kind of person miracles happen to. Say each line as a door opening, not a wish sent into the distance, but a channel cleared, a frequency raised, a quiet declaration that you are available for extraordinary outcomes starting right now. I am a magnet for miracles, not occasionally, not by accident, but as a consistent and natural feature of a life lived in alignment. I release the low hum of exemption, the quiet belief that extraordinary outcomes are distributed to other people and I am filed somewhere else. Miracles are not reserved for the especially deserving. They are available to the genuinely open. I choose to be genuinely open. I choose to expect good things, not naively, not without discernment, but with the grounded confidence of someone whose history contains more than enough evidence. I am the kind of person who tells miraculous stories, of timing so perfect it could not have been planned, of outcomes that exceeded every expectation. I release the habit of explaining away the extraordinary things that have already happened in my life as coincidence, luck, or anomaly. Not waiting for a miracle. Becoming the frequency that draws one in, by believing it is possible, by staying open, by refusing to close the door on the unexpected. I choose to call miraculous outcomes into every area of my life, my health, my finances, my relationships, my purpose, without ranking them by likelihood. I release the exhausting cynicism of a mind that has been disappointed too many times and decided that expecting less is the same as being wise. Every unexplained good thing that has ever happened to me was a miracle I was present enough to receive. I intend to be that present going forward. I stop filing my biggest desires under impossible and start filing them under in progress. I am available for outcomes I cannot engineer, for the phone call I did not make, the connection I did not manufacture, the solution I could not have invented. I release the belief that miracles require me to be perfect, fully healed, or further along before they are permitted to find me. My life is a living record of things that worked out in ways I did not predict. I choose to trust that record instead of my current anxiety. I choose wonder, the deliberate, practiced act of staying curious about what might be possible rather than cataloging what has not worked. I release the posture of bracing, of moving through life half expecting the floor to fall out, and I replace it with the open stance of someone who genuinely anticipates good. Miracles move toward receptivity. I am cultivating the most receptive version of myself, clear, open, expectant, and unafraid to be surprised. I stop treating my best outcomes as flukes and my hardest ones as the truth. The evidence of miracles in my life is as real as any other evidence. I choose to narrate my life as one in which miraculous things happen regularly because the narrative I hold shapes the frequency I emit. I release every story that told me wanting miraculous outcomes was arrogant, delusional, or setting myself up for humiliation. I am a magnet, not a passive recipient, Not a supplicant hoping for a dispensation, but an active, aligned, open channel for the extraordinary. I choose to notice the small miracles as diligently as I hope for the large ones. Because attention to the small ones is what calls the large ones forward. I release the version of me that stopped asking for much because the asking had started to feel like the setup to a disappointment. Extraordinary outcomes are not embarrassing to want. They are the natural aspiration of a life lived with full belief in what is possible. I am someone whose life contains evidence of grace, of timing I could not have arranged, of rescue that came from directions I was not watching. I choose to stay in the conversation with the miraculous, to keep the channel open even on the ordinary days, even in the quiet stretches. I release the fear that expecting miracles is the same as being unrealistic. Miracles are real. They happen. I am available for them. I am building a life in which the miraculous is not the exception. It is the texture of how things go when I am fully aligned and fully open. I release every dimension of smallness that has been contracting my expectation and begin expanding into the full range of what is possible for my life. I am a magnet for miracles. The door is open. I am standing in it. And what is coming toward me is already more than I have allowed myself to imagine. The channel is open. The frequency is set. Now speak, not to the ceiling, not into the abstract, but directly into the field of possibility that surrounds you right now. These are not requests. They are arrivals being spoken ahead of schedule. I manifest a miracle so specific, so perfectly timed, and so unmistakably tailored to my situation that I never again question whether they are real. I manifest a life so consistently full of extraordinary outcomes that miraculous becomes the word other people use to describe what they witness in me. I manifest complete freedom from the frequency of low expectation, from the contracted, braced, disappointment-insulating posture I have been living inside. I manifest the specific breakthrough I have been waiting for, arriving in this season through a door I did not know was there, in a form I could not have planned. I manifest a relationship with the miraculous so natural and so practiced that I stop being surprised by extraordinary outcomes and start simply receiving them. I manifest that every area of my life where I have stopped expecting good things becomes, in this season, the exact area where the most extraordinary things occur. I manifest a miracle in my finances so clear and so undeniable that the story I have been telling about money is permanently, visibly rewritten. I manifest a health outcome, a healing or a physical shift so unexpected and so complete that it becomes the evidence I return to whenever doubt arrives. I manifest a relationship, romantic, professional, or deeply personal, that arrives through a series of events so improbably perfect that coincidence cannot account for it. I manifest complete dissolution of the ceiling I have been pressing against, the invisible limit of what I believed was possible for someone like me. I manifest a life so aligned with my highest vision that the extraordinary becomes the ordinary texture of my everyday experience. I manifest that the people around me begin to notice something has shifted, that the quality, the luck, the flow of my life is visibly, undeniably different. I manifest miraculous timing, doors that open at exactly the right moment, people who appear with exactly the right words, resources that arrive at exactly the right hour. I manifest freedom from the stories that have been contracting my field, the ones that said this is as good as it gets, that the best of it is behind me, that I missed my window. I manifest a season so full of answered intentions and unexpected gifts that gratitude stops being a practice and becomes a permanent state. I manifest the specific miracle that someone in my immediate circle needs, knowing that my alignment and my open frequency creates a field that blesses everyone inside it. I manifest a version of my story so full of extraordinary turns that I am compelled to share it, and that in sharing it, I give others permission to expect the same. I manifest that the miracles already moving toward me arrive before I have finished believing they are possible. I manifest complete trust in the miraculous mechanics of a universe that is always working in ways I cannot see from where I am standing. I manifest a miracle a day so beautiful and so regular that I develop the habit of looking for them. And in looking, I find them everywhere. I manifest freedom from the version of practicality that has been dressed up as wisdom, but is actually just fear wearing sensible shoes. I manifest that every seemingly closed door I have been grieving opens, not into what was behind it before, but into something I could not have imagined from this side. I manifest a life in which I am known, by myself, by the people I love, by the wider world, as someone extraordinary things happen to, because I never stopped believing they would. I manifest the miracle of full presence, of being so genuinely awake to my own life that I never again miss a miracle because I was too distracted to notice it arriving. I manifest complete alignment between who I am, what I believe is possible, and the life that is actively forming around me right now. I manifest that this session, these 10 minutes of opened doors and raised frequency, sends a ripple through the next days, weeks, and months of my life. I manifest the courage to stay in a posture of expectancy even on the days when nothing extraordinary is visible, knowing that the visible is always behind the invisible. I manifest a miracle so perfectly matched to the deepest, most private hope I have been carrying that the only possible response is complete and total awe. I manifest that the miraculous is no longer a category of exception in my life, but the natural result of a person who remained open when every reasonable voice said close the door. I manifest every miracle I have spoken today, and everyone I did not yet know to ask for, arriving exactly as they are meant to, in the fullness of their perfect time. If something in this session reopened a door you had quietly closed, subscribe. Come back every day. Staying open is a daily practice. This is where you do it, like this video. Every like is a small act of openness, a signal that you believe this content is worth more people finding. And it is. In the comments, share the most miraculous thing that has ever happened in your life, the thing that should not have worked, but did. Write it. Name it. Let the comments section become a record of evidence, proof in real stories that miracles are not rare. They are everywhere, for everyone who stays open enough to receive them. Share this with someone who has stopped expecting the extraordinary. The most miraculous thing you can do for them today is remind them that the door is not closed. It has just been waiting for them to knock again. The only thing standing between an ordinary life and a miraculous one is not luck. It is not timing. It is not being chosen. It is the decision to remain open, to keep the door unlocked even when no one has knocked in a while, to keep expecting good things even when the recent evidence has been quiet, to keep telling yourself, honestly, stubbornly, without embarrassment, that extraordinary outcomes are part of your story. You just made that decision. Again, go live with the door open. You never know what is on the other side of a moment you almost talked yourself out of.